Hello everybody, sanibonani. Welcome to my channel. Igama lami nguNtando Mdletshe, and on this channel siyaye sifunde izincwadi ezibhalwe ngolimi lwethu lwesiZulu bese size la sokhuluma ngazo le ncwadi senze sixoxele phela laba abasuke bengenaso isikhathi sokuthi bayifunde iy'ncwadi nalabo abasuke benqena nje ukufunda. Siyaphinda futhi sibuka ama-reality shows ethu ala eMzansi bese size la sokhuluma ngawo lama shows senze ama-reviews or ama-recaps bese siyaphinda futhi sikhuluma nga-any other issues avukayo uma ngabe lama-show sesiwabukile kwi-TV. Uma ngabe uqala usijoyina namhlanje and you really like our content, please press usubscribe la ngezansi bese uyaphinda futhi upressa i-notification bell eduze kuka-subscribe ukuze phela uthole umyalezo uma ngabe umsebenzi omusha sesiwufakile. Guys, I am recovering from i-flu ebi-heavy. Cishe ngahamba ngempela ngaya ezulwini or ngaya kusathane. Cishe ngayohlangana nosathane kamakhumalo. Cabanga-ke, cabanga. You know, so guys, if my voice sounds funny, it's because of that. If nginidubula ngekhwehlela, hayi nizovika. You will just have to dive because my chest is not clear yet, but I just couldn't wait, you guys, to do this review. Yeah. Anyway, ngizokwenza poll on my community post, just us rating the whole season. What did you think about this season? And you can tell me your overall views. But otherwise, let's talk about part 2 of the reunion, Real Housewives of Devon, season 2, reunion part 2. Let's get into it. Of course, the queen was here. Queen ifikile, you guys. The queen was here. I guess it wouldn't have made sense because she was part of the season. Queen. I'm glad because they didn't keep her there for too long. And I mean, we did have that one issue that we needed to clarify when it came to uLondi kanye no Annie. And yeah, that's what the queen was here for. I'm sure she came ready. She came ready. I thought that she looked beautiful, you guys. I mean, siyayazi imiyekayeka kwayisholo lachoncha ukuthi imiyekayeka egqokoma. You know, siyayazi imiyekayeka kaQueen. uQueen is not going to come with a simple outfits, you know. And yeah, ube muhle ngendlela kaQueen, you know. And yes, and then they talked about the fact that uMaka Londi had asked ukuthi ene uQueen uyiQueen yakuphi. Londi's mom was so shady though, and I guess I understand Queen's answer to say, you know what, I'm a queen. I'm a queen within myself. Even before I knew I was a queen, I was a queen, you know. And then they get into the issue of that misunderstanding. I don't even know, guys, if it was misunderstanding or if it was just any and Londi being shady. I do feel like uLondi, because uLondi in this instance, indlela explaining out yena akazwanga ukuthi umaka Noku wathini. What she saw was uMaka Noku pointing to the head. So now I ask myself, so then how did you make an assumption that she was saying you are empty in the head if you did not hear? Why didn't you just say, no, I did not hear what uMaka Noku said. I just saw her pointing, you know, because during the season, that's not what she said. During the episode, that's not what uLondi said. She said, yes, I heard the same thing as Annie, which makes me feel like lento eshiwo ukuthi uLondi sucks up to Annie. It makes me feel like it's true. Because why would you just trust what Annie said and not trust what the other ladies were saying? Because Noku was saying, no, that's not what my mother said, you know, and they were not trusting him. They didn't talk about it too much because the ladies, obviously, they have seen the episodes. They just went into apologizing about what happened, which made things simple because they said no, they misheard. They apologized. First, it was Londi, and Londi had a gift for the queen. I don't know what the gift was. Gave it to the queen. The queen was forgiving Nyabazo Mama, guys. They're not gonna drag something usukolisile. And then it was Annie did the same, gave the queen a gift. Honestly, I wish that before they apologized, they had discussed it a little bit more. But I also did understand we had other issues to get into. You guys, I felt like if they already admitting what they were wrong, that's not what happened. Then let's just cut it and get into the other things. We still want to know if Mr. Petal exists. So I was like, okay, let's get on with this. And Queen does a speech. Queen will not live a day without a speech, you guys. She will not go anywhere without a speech. Even if the event is not about her, she will do a speech. So as usual, she did a speech engingazizwanga nami ngizwe nje sithi be your sister's keeper. I guess she was just trying to say to the ladies, honestly, all the drama that you guys have within the group is unnecessary. Why can't you just be, you all great, wonderful women, powerful women? Why can't you come together and help each other instead of coming for each other? And yeah, I mean, she spoke like a mother would, and obviously, but she exaggerated because she screamed at some point, and I'm like, hey, Queen, what's happening now? I mean, but she did what the queen always does. She does the thing that mothers will always do. But since it's the queen, kuzoba ne-exaggeration nje encane. Apparently, you guys, there's a scene that we never saw. Honestly, these producers basincishile nje a lot of content that they could have given us. Because really, iJenny kaManonku this season was about her relationship, her past relationship with Ubaba Nonku, how abusive it was, and all of that. So for them to not show us that apology during the season, because apparently she did sit down with Ubaba Nonku and Baba Noku apologized, and I was like, how come we never saw this? Because this was great content for the season, especially because Umaga Noku did have a storyline. In fact, she had a storyline as if she's a cast member. Umaga Noku. But they showed us during the season, and she says she's been waiting for a very long time for that apology. Honestly, you guys, women that go through abusive relationships, a lot of them never hear. The day never comes when a man comes and says, listen, if I did something that offended you or made you feel a certain way, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry ukuthi angikuthithanga the way that I was supposed to treat you. A lot of the women don't get that. So I was happy that she got that. She said she felt relieved after. So I'm happy with Mano who got that. So he said Mano who was not um that long, and I think that was really just good to just keep it short, because we all know this is the last episode we're going to get on Real Housewives, so we can't spend it just talking to the queen. We'll see the queen next season, because chances are we are going to see the queen next season. I'm wondering if she is a paid cast member, Umaganongo, you guys, and she might be, because she's appearing a lot on the show, and the fact that she is also willing to come to the reunion, she must be maybe getting paid. I'm just thinking, yeah. So then they move on into the next segment, which was about Nonku's intervention. Intervention. I've said this before, guys. When it comes to the reality shows, is that the thing about the reunion is that you've already gone through whatever incidents that you were going through, which with the other cast members. You go through whatever the conflict was, and then you get to the end of the season, and at times, by the time you get to the end of the season, you've already apologized for whatever you said, you've already apologized for whatever you did, and then you get to a better place with the cast member. So when the season ends, a lot of them are in a better place with their fellow cast members. Sometimes even after the show wraps, they meet and they are, listen, I've just watched the show, I shouldn't have said that to you, and they work things out. Then a weeks later, the reunion comes. Now you've already worked something out, but when the reunion comes, we as the viewers expect that you are going to talk about that issue as if it's new. And that is something that I think it becomes a challenge for the cast members. And I think it was a challenge here in this segment, because Lolly has already apologized to Nonku. And it's like she was not understanding why they are discussing the whole thing of the intervention. And Nonku is like, but just give me a chance to explain. So they're talking about the issue, or what was the issue when it comes to Noku and drinking. And then and it says yeah, her problem is that Noku says izinto ezi-offenda abanye when she is drunk. But that does not mean she has a drinking problem, though. I didn't understand that explanation any. And then also Risha says, it concerned her when Unoko says that sometimes she blacks out. I think that reason I will take. If a friend of mine says, you know what, when I'm drunk, I actually black out, I don't remember anything that happens, then that would be a concern. And when they asked the Queen about the drinking issue, Queen here says what she had said before. So listen, I've gone through this before when I was going through some stuff. Uh, I drank a lot, so I know how it feels like, and I wouldn't want her to go through that. And I think that I understood that. And Unonku, when they give her a chance to explain what was she going through, what upset her so much about the intervention, she does say, yeah, nah, the reason that she was so free to drink and whatever with the ladies is because she felt like the space was safe. She felt like these are my friends, I'm hanging out with my friends. She felt it was a safe space to drink as much as she can. They're having fun, you know. So she was very surprised to watch back the conversations that were taking place. But she was mostly surprised by the fact that Olondi seemed to be the one that was in leadership of that conversation. Yet Ulondi is the one person that she had not spent a lot of time with. Like Ulondi, when I'm sure I don't know at that point, but she was the one that had the most problem about her drinking, you know, and I understand that, you know, because honestly, ube musha ulondi, but she was involved in the Wenkanonku as if she knows a history ethile when it came to ukuphuza kuNkanoku. And that's the thing, that was the issue between the two of them, which is Unonku and no Lord. So I think at the beginning of that conversation, Lord was just not understanding why they are discussing it because she has already apologized. And Unonku is like, yeah, you apologized and I accepted it, but right now we are discussing how I felt at that time, you know. So it's hard to have that conversation because Mama Kuluma is like, so does it mean you haven't forgiven me? Because Ulondo ended up saying, okay, it's fine if you don't accept the apology. She was not understanding it. No, you've apologized. Apology accepted, but let's talk about what happened. Then let's talk about the feelings. Then I think that was the thing that was a conflict at the reunion. So Ulondi ends up asking, yeah, Noku, if we hadn't had that conversation with you, would you have come to the conclusion that you came to at at a Sun City? Because at Sun City, remember, Noku admitted, go to listen, guys, maybe I do drink a lot just to escape. She didn't say she drinks a lot. Maybe I do drink to escape. Okay. Would you have come to that conclusion? And then Unoku was trying to explain, but she got emotional about it. I think there was something emotional about because she was trying to explain how she gets to that point of drinking to escape and what she's trying to escape. And honestly, you guys, had I been a host, I would have just waited for Nogu to cry and gather herself and explain. And Donovan rushed to move on. Gule segment. I was so upset about it, you know. And I felt like us as the viewers are not gonna get Nogu's explanation, but I feel like even with Nogu, they talked about her a lot during the season. She should be getting a lot of time to explain herself, to explain how she felt. And I feel like she wasn't given enough time to do that. Donovan just wanted to write. I don't know, you guys, if they are talking to him like while she is. While he's busy with the ladies, they're talking to him to say, you know what, move on, move on, move on. Because maybe we can't be blaming Donovan, but maybe they are directing him to say, you know what, move on from this issue or something, and then he feels the need to just move on to the next. So I did feel like that they should have just given Unonku a time. If she was crying, cry, gather herself, and then say what she was going to say, because I ended up not getting it. And and he says that she ended up feeling like Unonku will admit to her drinking problems when she's ready. And I'm like, but we didn't get that during the season. We felt like they were forcing her to admit that she has a problem. And LaC, I also felt like LaC, I didn't want her to come back. You know, that segment was Nonku's segment, you guys. That segment was Nonku's segment. At the end of that segment, we're supposed to understand our feelings Nonku on the issue, and also just to for us to get a conclusion on whether she does think she has a drinking problem or not, and if she does have plans on how she's going to address it moving forward. That segment was, I felt like for me as a viewer, I wanted that segment to do that for me. And they just wouldn't let it do it. People were making it about themselves, about how they were feeling about it. And then Lassie comes in to say to UN, because UN says what she ended up feeling like Unonku would admit to it when she is ready. And then Lassie is like, but why wouldn't you give me that same courtesy in army to say when I'm ready to talk about what I want to talk about, I will talk about it. Why do you want to push when it comes to me? And UN is like, no, but the difference with you is that you lied. You lied. And Ulas is like, what did I lie about? And he asked the questions, do you feel like you have been honest with us? And Ulasi says yes. Anyway, we'll come back to that statement later on. Because when you say a lie was true, there is lying too, you know. But then you guys, of course, they do get into the issue Londi London and losing her sister, which was very emotional, you guys. And I didn't expect that Londi would be able to get through that segment without any tears, because honestly, like I've said, I've lost a sibling too. I know how that feels like. It's just the pain that just never really goes away. Like you want your sibling to come back, and you always have questions about uh, if you did what you could, all that you could for them when they were around. So I did understand her emotions about it. But she does feel like she had this dream about her sister. And her sister said, "Then you know what, I'm okay, like stop asking questions, just live your life. I'm okay where I am." So she feels like she is at peace with her sister's passing. But it was an emotional segment for Ulon. So I do feel like this segment ended up being about other people. The way that Unongo guys they talked about her whole season should have just had the whole segment up or for herself to explain herself, to ask questions, to come for people, because they came for her a lot, especially at the beginning of the season. I feel like this ended up being about Londi, being about Lassie, and being about Donovan cutting, being being load shedding. Anyway, um, and then on the next segment, they do get into that issue of, because obviously the viewers, now me at some point, I feel like this group is being divided based on um, your marital status slash financial status. Are you married? Is your husband rich? Then you can be in this group. If the answer is no, then you go over there with the other people. And the host does ask that question, was it really about that? And he asked Ulasi, do you think the reason you are not part of that group, meaning Eni, Ujojo, Ulokuzana, Makumalo, Usorisha, is it because you're not are married? And Ulase explains, Wusivele, that's a conversation that they have had with Umabusi. And Umabusi does feel like it's like that, Vele. And she feels like, Ulase explains, in fact, she feels like the person that she's most proud of with group is Umabusi, because Umabusi is the one that is working hard. Whatever money she has, she's saving it herself. And then the other ladies became very defensive, yeah, about that statement. So say, listen, Lassie is usually very articulate, you guys, but I think in this reunion she really struggled to express herself, and the fact that whatever that she was saying, people were ready to come at her made it even worse. She struggled to be articulate, but the fact that people were just ready to come for her in whatever it is that she says, it made it difficult for us to hear Lassie out. You know, I didn't hear a lot of Lassie, my Kulu. Someone is ready for a comeback. And I was ready to like hear her out explaining that point. But I think when she mentioned it about to at least Umabusu, we has to say very and whatever the other letters was, what do you mean? You mean Tina, we are not saving? Guys, listen, we cannot run away from the fact that these women, their lives are different because their husbands are rich, and I think now, but they just have to admit it. They have to admit it, you guys. There's certain things that they wouldn't be able to do if their husbands were not rich. It makes a difference, but they want us to think that they would be living exactly the same life had they not been married to a rich man. And I do understand their point in saying, listen, I work, I have businesses too. Yeah, but your husband has helped you. You know, especially about in any you were a dancer at a club. You know, and I think it bothers them that thing. But it's not a bad thing. I mean, you're married to a rich husband, and that has made your life a little bit easier. And even the dreams that you have pursued, it has been made easy because if you want to start a business, your husband is going to help you with capital, for an example, and it's not a bad thing. It's different for a single woman because she works, everything that she has worked for. When you have worked, but you have also had help, and it's nothing wrong with that. They don't want that being said, and I feel like it is the truth. It is the truth. And Noku naye says the same thing. But yes, I do understand you guys are business women and you have made it in your own rights. But trust me, it makes a difference that you have some form of um, a support from your husband. And Jojo was just silent because Jojo must not speak on this because I think out of everybody, it sounds like she's the one that whose life has changed the most after she married. Her husband. And I think that's why she is struggling to believe that other women can actually do and live the same life that she's living, but not having a rich husband. Anyway, uh, and then during that argument of the husbands and the whatever the businesses, Ulondi kept, sorry, Ulondi came in when Ulasi was talking about trying to explain that thing. Also, the ladies, but they do have support. So Ulonde comes in to say, how you mean our husband don't save? I don't know why Ulasina chose to use that thing ukuthi Umabusu saves for herself. And Ulasi says, but Londo, where do you work? I thought that was shade. Ukuthi Londo, where do you work? But Londo usebenza phi? You know? And that is the thing, you guys, that these women would avoid Bona answering these questions, but they expect the others. I don't know how this whole thing works. And then she becomes defensive. Anyway, she says, I'm a musician, I'm an influencer, and we already know about the influencers. So we already know about the influencers. So if you're an influencer, girl, we know you guys are not making that much. So we know that you guys supplement your incomes. How we know how you supplement your income, but she does say she's an influencer, she's a singer, she owns a sunglass boutique that we have never seen on the show, which I never understand why you wouldn't show your business on the show, you know and I guess, yeah, she does have that. But I think they've got a point, guys. Tell me what you think about it in the comment section. Because me personally, you guys, I do feel like these are really powerful women. I think they work hard. I think they do have their own businesses. I won't question that. But I do feel like the fact that they have rich husbands helps them a lot. It makes them um, look more successful than the ones that don't have rich husbands. And there's nothing we can do about it. It is the way that it is, but they do have support. Tell me if you think that it makes a difference in your opinion. Anyway, guys, they move on to the next section where they talk about the trip to Sun City, and they go a little bit into talking about Umabusi and Utobile, their relationship. And they read one tweet where one viewer was saying that Umabusi had inherited a beef between the two of them. And Umabusi was like, what beef? It's almost like Umabusi believes Ugusi, there is no beef between the two of them. So what beef did she inherit? Listen, I do think that it would have been hard for Umabusi to sit there while or that Benolundi they're having a conversation about Tumakumalo, but angahleki when izinto ziyahlekisa angabuza question ukuthi did you do that? I think it's unreasonable for us to expect that. I don't think that she had a personal vendetta against Tumakumalo, but I do think that yes, of course, she inherited something because she was there when conversations took place. So Uma Kumalo has a point when she says, "Ukuthi you were every time they had something to say about me, you were contributing." But I feel like, how would she not contribute to a conversation? Would she just sit there and be like, it makes sense, baby Clever, and she was there in the gossip. What I don't understand about this is that Uma Kumalo only has an issue with Umabushi contributing to the conversation. But every time that there was Umabusi, Ulachonto, and Londi London, Ulondi London naye did not have good things to say about Umakumalo. She did not. Kodwa uMakhumalo is not upset ngoLondi. Angi-understand ukuthi why uLondi is excused from her contributions to conversations about Makhumalo, because naye she wasn't positive about it. They were the two they were laughing the most about the black tie event. Yena uLondi benolachongo, but it's like now akaseyona part of that. That's a part that I didn't understand. So uLokhuzana, uMabusi expressed she doesn't have anything personal against Makhumalo, and I guess when the issue was settled for her, it really was settled. She says so Makhumalo is asked if she would be friends with Umabusi. She says no, she doesn't think that they would be friends. Umabusi, when she's asked, Umabusi is like, no, I don't have anything personal against Makhumalo, so things can change tomorrow and we can become friends. I don't feel the same way that she feels. Umakumal. So I guess that's where they stand in in that friendship. Honestly, I'm disappointed, you guys, because when they were at Sunset, I liked that they go to interact, just the two of them, Ulono Mabutu. And I really felt like these two have nothing against each other. They could build a friendship. But I think that it's gonna be impossible to build a friendship when one party wants a friendship and the other doesn't want a friendship. So I guess that part of a possible friendship is done. Here's the thing. I think honestly, Makumalo eliminating somebody from the show from saying I'm not never gonna build a friendship with this particular person puts you at a disadvantage, because the Golden Girls will betray you. Believe me. And I think that you have a better chance of building a genuine friendship with Noku, with Mabusi, and maybe Londi. Maybe Londi she can betray you, you know. But I think that the Umabusi and Noku are the two people that Makumala could really build a genuine friendship with. The Lababani are about money, about what you have, what you can afford. If you can afford to get on a private jet with them and all of that, I don't think that there is any chance of building a genuine friendship. They will hang out with you during the show when you are forced to hang out with them. So I don't know, but it seemed to me that Uma Kumalo would prefer that side than this side. And I think this side is because of that conflict that she's having with Ulukuzana, with LaC. And yeah, but that was the end of their potential friendship, because Makuma is not open to it. And then yeah, we move on. Did I leave anything out? Okay. And then we move on to the Petal issue. Now, you guys, they show us the flowers. Latonto's reaction. Hey, her face did look weird. I still feel like I feel like you guys, maybe she is a really good actress then Ulukuzana Olatunji, because I still, even when I watch today that reaction, I still feel like she was surprised. She might have been acting, but she acted very well. She acted very surprised. So I don't know, you guys, but she might have sent herself flowers. I don't know. And then uyabuza ke lana uDonovan ukuthi does Mr. Petal exist? you know. And Lona says, no, Mr. Petal exists, you guys. This was a surprise for me. Ula says, Mr. Petal exists. Yes, they are best friends. It's a guy that she likes. They are best friends. Okay, they're not in a relationship. It means, and then she says, and then Ulona says, but I've never even seen a picture of Mr. Petal. And Ula says, like, you've never asked for a picture. And she says, there are two people that she has shown a picture of Mr. Petal to, and that is Usorisha, not Jojo. She says, because they asked to see the picture and she showed them. I didn't know, you guys, would anybody had ever seen Mr. Petal. I mean, the picture of Mr. Petal, I didn't know. So it was a surprise for me that Kandi Usorisha, not Jojo, really know who Mr. Petal is. And then Londi says she was under the impression that at some point LaC and Mr. Petal were dating, and she was surprised now when she's told that they're not. And Noku, when she's asked on the Petal issue, says no. The only thing that was weird about it about Mr. Petal was that Ulachongo put Mr. Petal on a pedestal, like as if he's rich, he has a yacht, and all of that. And that was unnecessary. He could have just, she could have just introduced Mr. Petal as just the normal guy. And Ulastigege says to the ladies, and what she doesn't understand is that everybody has things about them that they are not sharing on the show. And everybody is willing to accept the people are not sharing everything on the show. But yeah, now they can't accept she doesn't want to share those things on the show. And then Donovan cuts them off to go to the break. I really feel like you guys, even if they had to go on a break at that point, they could have come back and finished that conversation. And I feel like they didn't. Because really, she was making a good point to say, guys, you don't share everything on the show, you know. But at the same time, with LaC, I do feel like, but girl, you're the one that brought the idea of Mr. Petal to the show, you know, and the flowers and everything. So when they're asking questions, they're justifying doing so. If you don't want to answer the question, then you can say you don't want to answer the question because but they're not giving us everything about their lives. We've got questions here. It's clearly now it's answers to because they did not share. So yeah. And then when they come back from break, was it Annie who said, Ulaxoxo said she had a strategy when she came to the show on how she uh, was going to avoid answering the questions. And Ulasi, when she answers, she says, no, it wasn't really the strategy, but I had things that I wasn't ready to talk about. And there are things she says she admits there are things that she didn't tell the truth on in trying to avoid answering certain questions. There are things she did not tell the truth about, meaning that she lied about some things. And then people are asking, since we don't know where you live, because Ulondi went there, was it Ulondi that a few people did go to LaC's house, and then Makumarona is like, I was also confused why you guys say you don't know where LaC lives because you guys went to her place. And LaC is like, yeah, of course you guys came to my place, but I didn't say that I own the place. I was renting a place because I can never shoot at my place, you guys. And there's nothing wrong with that for the reality shows, guys. A lot of the houses we see on reality shows are not their houses if they prefer not to shoot in their own houses. And that is the thing. He says she was renting the place. Of course, she's never gonna shoot where she lives because she's not comfortable with that. And Umake says, "Why lie? Why lie about it?" Of course, Ulasa is not gonna answer to Makoma. Sorry, guys, I did warn you. I did warn you. She's not gonna answer. Who doesn't that? So you mean I don't have a place to stay? Anyway, I guess the point Kamakumula was that no, just show the truth. Whoever you are, wherever you live, just show the truth because uh, you gave us the impression that you are not giving us the information because of your relationship with the former president and all of that. But now you are admitting that you lied about some things. Why would you lie? I didn't think that LaC will answer that question kindly coming from Makumal because whether they have that conflict. Guys, there are things that LaC lied about. Obviously, the yacht thing was a lie. Like we all know, almost the Petal is not rich. I think that is. That have come up from this reunion. We've concluded, yeah, LaC, and she admits, yes, she lied. Why she lied, I don't understand, you guys. I guess she just got carried away. And then they talk about the drink throwing, guys. This was the most disappointing of all of the segments because there was so much to talk about when it came to this issue here that they didn't touch on. In fact, Georgia was just based on at the reunion, guys. Based on they didn't talk about her bringing security to LaC's event. They didn't talk about that issue. They didn't talk about hey, telling Lokuzana to say shut the F up. It's a lot that they didn't talk about Jojo's life at all. At all. They didn't talk about the fact that her husband had the surgery that went wrong and all of that. They didn't talk about that. They didn't talk about her past relation. There is so much to get into with Jojo, but she was just sitting there like a picture on the wall, basically. And this segment was the only segment where we got to hear Jojo speak, and it just no, it was disappointing. It was, but they talk about the drink throwing. Obviously, Mabusi, how she felt. She said she was very shocked. She felt like she was an easy target for Ujojo. It's like honestly, Ujojo just got mad on an issue that was previously discussed, and it's like she misdirected her anger at her. I wanted Donovan to ask the question, Yoguti, if you say she misdirected her anger, who was she angry with? So who should she have directed her anger to? You know, but he didn't ask that. Um, I know my boss says, "Well, yeah, listen, I've fought my whole life and I don't want to go back there." And then George is like, "Me too." And then my boss is like, "No, girl, you haven't. You haven't." George, I think she has fought. Listen, if you had fought Jojo, you would not have thrown that trick at Mabutsi because you would know that you were going to die if you fight Mabutsi. But anyway, and then she cries. She cries, and then obviously Masakalo Jojo because we manipulate. Then there's akusakhubeke in the conversation. Umabusi feels guilty. She stands up. Ayohako Jojo. Most boring reunion ever in my life that I have ever that I have ever. There's so many issues that they never got into, you guys. We could have like 3 parts reunion here if we really had a really good host, but we didn't, and I mean we have to take what we got. Uh, I don't think Ugutu Donovan is a bad guy. Really, honestly, guys, I think he's a good presenter. I think he could do well in other shows, just not this one, not this one. They need to find somebody else. But anyway, there was a reunion for today. You guys, please tell me what you think about this part. I mean, we already know that we're not happy about our Donovan, but I mean that's all that we had. So what did you think, you guys? And what are the issues that you feel were left out of this reunion that you feel like they should have been discussed? Mapama details that you think we're not really getting. And do you think everyone is coming back next season? Makumalo says that, yes, it was a good experience being on the show. She says that she feels like she's being heard now and she feels like she has a lot to offer coming back next season. I'm still not convinced. I'm not convinced I want her back, you guys. But if she comes back, then she comes back, then we'll see what happens next season. With LaC, you guys, it's just it saddens me because I do think Uguti, she does add an interesting element to the show. However, I mean, honestly, if she's not gonna share anything about her life, really, is it worth her coming back? So I really just have a hard time with that because she said very clearly she's not gonna give more than she has given. She's not gonna bring her family. She said that she's not gonna bring her family to the show. She's not gonna bring her son to the show. So really, do we need to have somebody like that on the show? Is it worth our time? Really honest. We're gonna spend the next season footy wondering about her life. So yeah, just tell me what you think about this reunion down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it before Pumegiona and share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers in Tanda.